Are you thinking about the 203K Rehab loan as an option for you as a first-time home buyer? I'm going to go over my client's current experience and some advice to you if you plan on using this type of loan. This is Shaheedah Hill, getting you over the hill to home ownership and helping you confidently buy your first home. I don't like to do videos about things that I've never actually done. So the 203K loan, although I mentioned it in this video, hidden opportunities for first-time home buyers, I really wanted to make sure I had done one before I did a video about it. And I am in the midst of one right now. So let me give you a little bit of background. My client is a first-time home buyer. Their budget was about $150,000. He qualified for much more, but he didn't want to spend over $150,000. However, he wanted to be in a county where the average home price is about $370,000. So as you know, number one, we're in a seller's market. Number two, he's FHA qualified. Number three, he wanted to be in an area where his price point was much lower than the average price point. So all of those things considered, if you've watched any of my videos about how to get your offers accepted, it was a major challenge. So number one, there's few homes on the market. Number two, even getting them FHA, you're competing with cash buyers, that sort of thing. So we decided to take the 203K route. And the reason why I put Chip and Joanna Gaines from FIXER UPPER is because if you ever watch their shows, they buy a house that needs major rehab and then they fix up the house and they add that all into one loan. Or, we're assuming that if the people didn't have cash to do it. So that's the route that we took. And I want you to, number one, know that this is my first 203K loan. He was already pre-qualified for FHA. So I asked he got qualified with two different lenders. I asked both lenders, do they participate in the 203K program? Only one of the two lenders he got pre-qualified with or pre-approved with did. So we went with that lender, and that lender was upfront. She said that she hadn't done one in many moons. So we were all kind of at this at the first time together. We found a house that did need some repairs. Now there are two different types of 203K loans, and it really varies by amount and what you need to do. So they call the lower cost one. So you can get a loan for under $35,000 to fix up non-structural items. So mostly cosmetic items. They're not to like move walls and do that sort of thing or check your foundation or build like additions onto homes. It's really for basic things in the house. So that's the one that this lender participated in. And there is another one. So if you're thinking about doing this for over $35,000, then you probably want the other option of 203K loan. So that's what we decided to do. We got a home under contract. We did it for 60 days because I talked to other agents. There's really not a lot of information about this loan. So I guess my thing was, let me go ahead and do one, figure out everything for myself and put some systems in place if this is something I'm going to do with my clients or suggest for my clients. So we went ahead and we got it under contract. We did a 60-day closing because that's what most agents recommended to me. And right now we're at the point where he selected a contractor. He's through underwriting. However, they did not order the appraisal until he selected a contractor. And selecting the contractor really took the majority of the time because not only did he have to select a contractor, he also had to get that contractor approved with the lender. And he had to make sure also that the work that they were going to do was going to be under $35,000, and not even up to $35,000. It had to be lower because you have to put a contingency in there. So the lender really wanted it to be under $30,000. So he would have that contingency if needed, if things came in a little bit higher or if he had to do anything extra. So this is where we are right now. We had to do a rush on the appraisal because we're past our 60-day contract. So we had to get an extension from the seller that was not happy to give us an extension, but he had already been, 60 days into this contract. So we're able to get, working with the listing agent to get him to hold on a little while longer so we could at least get the appraisal through. We did pay to rush the appraisal. So if you're ever in this situation, you can pay extra to rush the appraisal. So we did that. It was supposed to be in by yesterday. It's still not in. The lender did confirm that they have it, but it's under review right now. So hopefully we'll have the appraisal today, and then I can do an update video on, how the whole 203K process went. But I do want to give you my 5 tips to make the process, if you decide to go this route, to make it smoother for you. So number 1 is you want to make sure you're working with a lender that, number 1, does 203K loans, and number 2, that they've done they've done multiple recently, because you have different things that happen. You want to know that they've done them, I would say at least 3 or more in the last year. The more the better, of course, but ask them up front, have you done 203Ks? Because a lot of lenders do not participate, or they don't do them. But if you find one that's, done one before, not even before, you want like the most recent, I would say in the last 12 months, have they done, like how many have they done? Ask them that specifically. Number 2, you want to, like I had contractors, but either the contractors bid over the 35,000 or they did not want to do the 203K process, because the 203K process is lengthy. You have to go have a lot of paperwork. The lender has to approve you. It definitely has to be a licensed contractor, at least in Georgia. So you can check in your state. Licensed contractor. They have to have a certain amount of insurance. They have to be approved. They have to submit their estimate. All of those things, a lot of people don't want to be bothered. So when we were looking for additional contractors, they were like, oh, we don't do 203Ks. I've been burned by the lender before, because they're going to do the work, and then the lender's going to pay them little by little as they complete certain parts of their project. And a lot of contractors don't like to work like that. So you have to find a contractor that is willing to go through the 203K process. That's like very important. And I would do that before you even apply for the loan. You could be looking for the lender. Once you have the lender, or, contractors, do it at the same time, but you definitely want contractors that have done 203Ks recently, and you want lenders that have done 203K loans recently. Number 3, you definitely want to give at least 60 days for it to close. If the seller is not willing to give you 60 days at least, then you may want to, keep on looking. You need at least 60 days, number 1, for the contractors to go and do their estimates, for them to get the paperwork through. Everybody, you're in a rush, your buyer's in a rush, but sometimes the lenders are not in that big of a rush. So you want to make sure, and it's not just your lender, they have to go through underwriting departments, and whoever the construction person is with the lender has to look at it. So there's a lot more paperwork than in a typical transaction. And you want to be able to get through those things as quickly as possible. Not as quickly as possible, but you want to give yourself enough time to get those things done. And then in your contract, if you're able to, in your contract, you want to try to put in that, you definitely want to put in that both of the parties agree that this is a 203K loan. But you want to try to get some kind of contingency that if the 203K loan does not get approved, so separate from your due diligence period, but if the 203K loan is not approved by the lender, that your buyer can get their earnest money back, because that is a possibility that the property does not get approved, and you may not find out until later. Like for my example, the appraiser just went out and we've been under contract for 60 days. So those are my, also just know the difference between the types of 203K loans. There's 203K is specific to FHA, but they also have some renovation loan products for conventional. So in the description, I will list both. So you can have some idea, but research is going to be key. The contractors, and you cannot do any of the work yourself. They're going to have you sign a thing saying that you're not doing this work yourself. So there's a lot of things that they're trying to make sure, I's are dotted and T's are crossed in this rehab option. But it could be a good option for first-time home buyers who are under like the average price point to get a home that they would really enjoy and, you know, that they could live in. So my hopefully I'll have a part 2 video really soon, but put any questions down in the comments and I'll try to answer as many as I can. But I really want to, you know, wait, see how this, you know, pans out, and then hopefully have a new updated video for you as soon as it closes. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel for new videos every week.